Hi guys, welcome back to Technical Gaming, and this is Eric, and in today's video an update about our Torchlight Infinite, Gemma, Flame of Pleasure, Path of Flames build. Now as you can see on the DPS dummy, we're able to reach 6 billion DPS by changing some of the gears and other stuff for this build. Now if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because we're making Torchlight Infinite builds, guides and updates, and if you need some help, if you're new, then you can actually learn a lot from our channel. And if you're actually watching this, there's a part 1 for this video. The link is in the video description. Just kind of link the Twightmare playlist, and there's a lot of builds also other than Flame of Pleasure, but so far I should say this build so far is the best one that I am created for this league. Okay, now let's jump to the gears. So again, this is for the first timer, but if you would like to follow through, you can actually watch the first video for the starter build, so you can actually catch up with the build for Gemma, Flame of Pleasure, Path of Flames. So before, this is an Elder Sage helmet, but right now we changed this to the Long Night Sorcerer's Mask. This is actually intended because it also provides a lot of energy shield, as you can see here, and we also added some energy shield also here, but I didn't craft this. I bought this in the trade house. Right now we have support skill level of +3. Of course, energy shield is really necessary for this build. We also check curse effect because we're doing a lot of curse for our elemental destruction, And also what you need to look for is affliction effect or affliction effect per second, but this is the one that I got. It also has one spell skill level. You know, you're gonna lose max stacks of focus blessing, but technically we don't do that. It's not necessary for the build, but we're only up to the plus spell skill level because Path of Flames is also a spell skill, okay, and also energy shield too. So this actually still remain the same. Twilight Vestment. I just got this, bought this with corroded version of this. I'm not sure how much this one costs. Right now you can just simply buy 1 FE or 2 or 3 FE for this gear, but you don't have to have at least a corroded version of this. If you have the corroded version of, you know, Reaping, that's actually good, but with this alone, I just lucky to have the elemental resistance. You can just simply buy non-corroded version for starters, okay? And this actually, Strange Snow is really necessary for this build because of the 56%. There's a lot of affliction effect that you can actually give to your enemy. And it consumes 20% of your life, but it could inflict 50 affliction for nearby enemies within if they are full life. So it's really necessary to have this on you. This is one of the uniques for this build. Torturous Touch. Of course, as you can see, there's a lot of energy shield it actually provides. Some cold resistance, cool, and energy shield again, and elemental resistance in order for us at least to pack our resistance, and I'm gonna show that one to you later. For the build, you need to have the corroded version for this, but if you don't, that's perfectly fine. This is really cheap, guys, to be honest. You can actually buy this again for 1 FE still. You know, if you don't have the corroded version yet, then that's fine. Just go over to the normal Torturous Touch, then simply buy a corroded version after, okay? For the belt, we actually have a lot of good mods here. Of course, it has defenses, elemental damage together with less 3%. If you can have the you know, less 3% additional damage at low mana, if you can have it, you know, T0, that's perfectly fine, actually, much better. We also have affliction effect because this is really important for this build, and I just packed in some erosion and lightning rest, and I was able to buy this. This is kind of a bit expensive, to be honest. I just looked for the affliction effect, 5 to 15 FEs. I think I bought this for about 25 FEs, okay? But if you only have you know, this mod like elemental damage, defenses, and affliction effect, you can actually go for it and just add some resistances. Which one you are lacking, just put in here, okay? And then for the King's Boon, of course, it also provides energy shield, and also has Reap and mod of more witness. That's why we don't select that on our talent, which we're going to tackle later. Okay, that's why it's really important to have this. Plus, it provides 20% movement speed too. For the rings, what really we are looking for, if you can have the Aurora ring, much better because it has energy shield, and also it also adds fire. I just, you know, crafted this. But what you really need to look for is the Reaping cooldown recovery together with the other one. As you can see, there's a Reaping cooldown recovery and affliction effect. If you can find cooldown recovery for Reaping and affliction effect, or affliction effect per second, that's much better. Now let's jump over to the weapons. I'm gonna change this, but for now what we are looking for, or what we're after, is the affliction effect per second, or affliction. And if you can add some elemental or DOT damage or fire damage, is much better. I just bought this because it has additional mod for 13% to chance to double damage. But what we're looking for is really affliction, elemental damage, or dot. And for the Supreme Throne, this is also required. If I'm planning to change this with a corroded version for the channeled skill level for +3 or 4, but those were really expensive. But this is, you really need to have this one. It's really good for this build. This is one of the unique for this build. Now for the resistances, as you can see, I was able to almost get all cap, but we're lacking resistances, but you can actually go to Void Lands in Netherrealm, and I don't die there, to be honest with you. Just simply evade the attacks of the main bosses, and you're able to survive there. Okay, now let's go to the skills for the newcomers. So we're doing the Path of Flames with Guard, Cataclysm, Control Spell, Fire Penetration, and Elemental Fusion. Star Stalker, this is one of the best skills here that added the DOT damage. It's also a spell skill. As you can see, it would add 52.5% additional damage, and it always track elites. So this is actually good for this build. I put Rhythm here so I don't click this skill most of the time. I put Cooldown Recovery just now, just to have this also cast frequently whenever I'm farming. This is one of the changes that we made. Before, it was actually Phantom, Speed Phantom, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is actually what we used on our previous video, but I found that it's much better because it would, as you can see on the video for the Nightmare, I was able to walk around faster. It's much better than Speed Phantom, and also provides blur for our character, which provide critical strike rating as well with cooldown recovery, so that we can actually cast this more frequently with Mass Effect and Mania. And Arcane Circle with the Rhythm and Mania and Mass Effect, there's an additional damage multiplier, together with Mana Boil, of course, with Rhythm, again, so that I don't have to click a lot of skills whenever I'm farming. Because if you're new to our channel, I always try to create builds that actually has a chill play style, so you just have to roam around and that's it, right? Now next, for the auras, we have Elemental Amplification, Deep Pain, and Swiftness. All precise is really mandatory. It provides more DPS than ever. Precise auto defense, if you have precise auto defense, is actually better because it has a better cooldown recovery than the just a normal version of auto defense, so that our force start would always cast. I also purchased Precise Elemental Rest for its max resistances in order for us to pump more our resistances. And then for the next one is Triggered Wild Channeling. We have Elemental Destruction with Abysmal Hatred and Magical Source. Magical Source, if you can have it precise, much better, but just normal one, you're actually good. Now next to the talent. So first of our talent is we're going to focus on Goddess of Deception as always, and we choose Windwalk, and then Subtle Impact for the blur, and this is the one that we have. I would recommend to not fill in this. Once you actually have fulfill, you just have to stop here and just put 1 point here or 2 in order for you to put all the necessary talents here, and just go back here once you're done filling up the rest of the talents. Okay, now I went back here when I was able to finish the Warlock, and I filled in all of these because it has 1 plus 1 persistence spell skill level. That's why I got that. And then for the next talent, we have Psychic with Affliction, and we also have Repurification. More with less, we have this one on our boots. So this is the one that we have. Okay, so actually you can go after here, and you can just simply go back here. I just went back here again when I'm done with the Warlock tree. Now just fill in all the necessary points. I think I was able to put up to here, then I went back here after Warlock. Okay, so again, this is the one that we have. Okay, and then last but not the least, for the Warlock, we have Indifference because of the cooldown recovery, and we also have Stab in the Back for our blur. That's why we have blur on our skill, and this is the one that we have. There. Now for the Divinity Slates, For the slates, it's mandatory to have this Blazing Fire as mod for this Pedigree of God, because it has DOT damage for fire and inflicts 10 affliction for when dealing fire damage, and we're always dealing fire damage. That's why it's necessary here. You can also add Plague, but that's really expensive, so I just put Blazing Fire for now. I'm not sure how much this costs, but I think around 40 or to 50 FE each. Okay, the rest of the mod, basically this is, I choose max channel stack 1, and I just crafted this, and this is the one that I got. Not really optimized though, but we have energy shield charge and critical strike rating. And the other one, of course, sealed mana. And I like this mod. Upon dealing damage to cursed target, there is an 8% chance to paralyze. Plus, it has 15% curse skill radius. And we also have reaping duration and another sealed mana. And last would be this one. It has 18% dot damage together with sealed mana and max mana. Affliction effect. We really need to have the affliction, and I have energy charge. That's why I have this. Of course, not yet optimized yet because we're still leveling. So, but once we fill this in, I might probably go to 1 persistent or max channel stack for the rest of the slates. Now let's jump to the hero trait. The hero traits here is basically will remain the entirety of this build. So this hero relic and hero memories are the ones that you actually need, and you need to have all the first three slots as much as possible to make it happen. So we have a breath of exchange for branding, and this is the one that we have for the hero trait. We have the first one, which has a skill duration, and for every 6% affliction effect plus 1% damage recording ratio for brand up to 32%. This is a lot of multiplier for our branding. The one is we have cooldown recovery, so that our skill or our hero trait would actually cool down fast, so that we can actually trigger death by fire. We also have the skill area for purgatory, and it inflicts one brand or one enemy. Last is the 30% damage recording ratio for brand, and 9% affliction effect plus 1% damage recorded for brand. So basically, we're actually trying to brand as many enemies within our purgatory as much as possible, so that we can trigger death by fire. So the rest of the hero traits here are actually done by testing. Now for the Pact Spirits, basically I just choose first one for the elemental rest, just to balance my elemental resistance, but the rest would be dot damage and affliction, and the other one as well. So there you have it. That's our build, update for our Torchlight Infinite Gemma Flame of Pleasure Path of Flames build. Subscribe guys if you would like to get an update for the next update for this build, and as well as for Torchlight Infinite content. Thank you so much again guys for watching until the end. See you on our next video.